Hey, welcome to Brianna Entrepreneur. I'm Brianna and I'm an entrepreneur. This channel is about my journey to finding the thing that I'm going to entrepreneur. So I've been away for a long time. I've been busy and I've been prioritizing, which is why I haven't been on YouTube. Welcome to all my new subscribers who I know are not going to watch this video, but welcome. It's crazy how I've just gained all these subscribers without creating new content. Anyway, in this video, I'm gonna go over all the projects I'm doing, and then at the end, I will tell you the 3 bare minimums of podcasting, since the announcement with this video is basically that my podcast is live. So I'll tell you the 3 bare minimums, and then I'll go over some things that I'm learning right now in my entrepreneurship. Sound good? Okay, I'm gonna try to make this quick. First of all, I cut my hair. In February, I had a video about if I should shave my head. I was wondering because I just felt like I was spending so much time on it and it was a source of stress. I wanted to eliminate that. But at that time, I couldn't do it because I didn't start thinking about it until the day before my appointment. And my stylist was like, you need to wait. But I appeared at my cousin's wedding, and after that, 2 days later, the hair is gone. That was last week. I'm very happy with my decision. My husband just ignored it. Okay, so let's kind of go in chronological order. The first thing I started this year was Mary Kay. That was January 2nd. I met with the director about Mary Kay. I bought all this inventory because I knew if I bought inventory, I wouldn't quit. I started Mary Kay because I wanted to have in-person business experience, and I wanted to have experience like running a business. So interacting with customers, running a business for the sake of being a business coach. And also I wanted to learn how to sell, because everything that I've heard about or heard recommended to entrepreneurs says that entrepreneurs need to learn how to sell. Well, as I developed a vision throughout the year, Mary Kay just is not a part of it. I went to the Mary Kay seminar in July. It was great. I loved seeing super successful women, but I don't want to be a successful Mary Kay person. I was inspired to be successful in my own right, and what I took away from seeing those women was that they were dedicated, they were focused, which I can't be focused on my own thing if I'm trying to get to a place with Mary Kay to overcome my weaknesses to be successful at it. So Mary Kay is really on the back burner. I'm trying not to stress about the thousands of dollars of inventory I have, and you don't have to buy that. I just took a leap in doing that, so I couldn't quit. So that's Mary Kay. In January, I got the idea to write an ebook. That idea kind of changed, but I did eventually write an ebook, which is now written, but it's taken me a really long time to write it. I did 3 revisions. I had people read it. I just enlisted a couple of military spouses to read it because it's a military related ebook, and now I'm ready to move to the formatting stage. I could format it myself in Canva, but I just feel like I would rather pay somebody else to do it. So I'm gonna look for someone on Fiverr to format my book. Hopefully it will be out. I do plan to do an affiliate program, ideally with bloggers and YouTubers, but I don't know, there's kind of a block there. It sounds hard, so I haven't tried to start recruiting people, but I need to do that because that's my first immediate way I should be able to make income. Now, I mentioned a couple videos ago that I had started an eBay store. The eBay store is completely dead. The reason I signed up for it was because I was in a holding pattern with my blog and my podcast. So I just wanted a way to earn some passive income, and it was really advertised as a passive source of income, and it just has not turned out that way. I would like to review the course that I took, but I am also at this place with being someone who says things, being a content creator, where I am realizing the negative aspects of being on YouTube and possibly being a public figure. It's that I have to be accountable for things that I didn't even say. So the things I said regardless of how I meant it, I still have to spend energy making sure people have their correct perception. And that's based on one of my videos, like some loved ones were offended at something I said. And I've got a couple videos about Banker's Life and Casualty where a lot of people just come away with not what I said. And I feel responsible for that. On top of that, somebody from Banker's Life contacted me wanting to meet with me, like we can meet in person or virtual. And I eventually realized that's not going to serve me. I said what I said, I meant it, and I don't have anything else to say. I don't have any feedback for you. That was 4 years ago. Anyway, so because of that, I don't know if I really want to review this course because I like the person who created the course and I think the course is bad. So I don't know. Anyway, I hired a freelancer. I hired a virtual assistant from freelance.com. She was terrible. My store has been shut down, and I assume because people reported that it was drop shipping. Whatever, moved on from that. Now, I am making a YouTube video here, but I don't do YouTube very much because I really had to prioritize, and YouTube can take a lot of time. Although I really enjoy doing it, it really does take a lot of time to edit a video. I've noticed that since I'm a YouTube creator now, I'm very mindful about my opinions. I never leave mean comments on anything, but I still, like, even when I'm thinking criticisms, I'm more gracious because it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot for somebody to even get to the point of creating something, let alone working on making it excellent. So I wouldn't want to criticize them for work that a lot of people aren't willing to do. Anyway, in my mind, this YouTube channel's value will really come in the years from now. Once I've actually made it to where I'm going, then you'll see this channel and you'll like go back and see what stages I went through. That's what my focus is, or that's what my idea is. So that's why I'm not really focused on growing it or lots of content creation, because the value will be in retrospect when I'm like going on a book tour and you're like, oh my gosh, she's so successful, she's so cool, how did you get there? And then you'll just look at the videos and you'll see how I got there. Oh, my blog is also live. This whole thing started out with blogging. I quit my job last summer so that I could focus on blogging and just realize I didn't really have a vision for it. So in the time since, I've developed a vision. I also had to learn how to blog, really. There's a skill to it. It's not just writing. I consider myself a writer. I think communication is my gift, but blogging is different. Like, you have to worry about SEO. You have to know about Pinterest. You have to know about newsletters and email lists. So there's a lot more that goes into it. Right now, I'm just trying to be consistent and I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to like establish my Pinterest presence because that's where a lot of traffic comes from. Now, what you've all been waiting for, I just released episode 6 of my podcast, which is called Bride on Base. Bride on Base is also the name of my blog. I decided to make a podcast based on a recommendation from somebody else. At that time, my idea was to feature other military spouses on the blog since I'm no longer a military spouse, and it was recommended to me that I just take the recordings and make a podcast. Well, the direction of the podcast has completely changed. It's not about featuring other women. It's now about what I feel military spouses need to know. So it's marketed as a personal development podcast for new military spouses. And it took a long time for me to get to that definition and that mission. In the process, I've also learned other things like whatever content I create needs to be fulfilling this, making military spouses' lives better, helping them develop as a person and not just like, you're not gonna come to my podcast to get tips on PCSing or how to get through a deployment. That's not what I'm gonna be talking about. So the podcast process, once I realized that people were unreliable and I wasn't gonna be able to get all the interviews I needed, I decided I'm too invested at this point to just quit. So that's why I decided to go solo and do it myself. I do still have a few interviews in the schedule, but that's not that's not the main framework of the podcast. I plan on doing 1 season. I'm not sure exactly how long that will be. Maybe that'll be 12 episodes, and then I'll regroup, reconfigure, come back probably in January. I really enjoy podcasting because, I don't know, it's like writing and videoing meet. In some ways it's harder, in some ways it's easier, because with making a video, I think videos is like the most fun, but I gotta look right. The space has to be clean and all that. Whereas when I make a podcast, it just needs to be quiet. My biggest challenge has been sound. I'll start there. My solution was to equalize. So I do a +3, and then if that doesn't work, I'll do -3. That's about all I know about sound at this point. So that's been my biggest hurdle. I went to a small business class and I realized I really need to be answering with, like I mentioned before, with each piece of content I create, what am I selling? No, I don't have a product to sell right now, but what image am I selling? And in the case of not having a product, what am I trying to get people to buy into? I want military spouses to dream bigger and dream outside the box, because I think that's what makes us really unhappy, is this feeling of being limited and just having all these barriers and challenges. But it doesn't have to be that way if we start thinking about things differently. The 4 basics I think you need to start a podcast are a microphone. I have the Samsung Q2. There were like 3. I saw a video from Pat Flynn and he tested 3. And that was like the lower cost one, and it, in his opinion, wasn't much different than I think the ATR 200, something like that. But it's fine. Sometimes I wish I had better quality sound, but I also think that where my sound is lacking at this level of production could be fixed in post-production if I knew how to do it. A lot of people want to use the Yeti, but the Yeti is a condenser, and you need to know that that's going to pick up a lot of background noise. I live in an old home on a busy street, so I'm not going to use something like that. Okay, next you need an editing system. I use Audacity. For some reason I can't record in Audacity, but other people can. In that event, I have a MacBook Pro, but in that event you also will need a recording software. So I use GarageBand, record in there. I export to disk. You can't just save it. I export as a .wav file, and then I import that to Audacity and I edit there. And then you also need a host. So I use Anchor. What I don't like about Anchor is that they have their logo on my logo. So after season 1, I may transition to a different host that's not free so that their logo's not on my logo. Now, my bonus to the other things I think you need to feel like really legit, I think it's really worth it to pay for a logo. I had a logo made on Fiverr. The person who did it, I don't feel like actually had any skill or talent. I mean, I guess she had a skill, but not a talent. But my logo looks legit with the list of the rest of the podcasts I listen to, except for that Anchor logo. So I think that's a good thing to make sure you get. And then I think you need to have music to use. I'm subscribed to Soundstripe. It's $15 a month. There may be other sources of music, but they have good quality music and a lot to choose from. I don't spend too much time shopping because there's just like thousands, but I do think that it really helps your podcast. Okay, so other than my projects, the last thing I wanted to say is I'm in this place where I've kind of realized that I haven't realized my ultimate goals or my goals for this year, because I haven't really changed. I mean, when I really think about it, I'm basically the same as I was 6 months ago, a little bit more disciplined, more focused, but I really have to do a lot of inner work. So I want to challenge anyone watching this, if you are wondering where is your breakthrough, where is your success, look and see what have you actually given up in exchange for it. So I'm just doing a lot to really clear my energy and make sure I'm focused, make sure I'm getting up early to do work, being consistent. I started sending my son to Parents Day Out so I can get more work done. I'm trying to change so that I'm in alignment with the goal that I want. As it is, it's like I'm literally asking for magic because I didn't really change. But I've been through a lot this year. My husband got out of the Army. We moved halfway across the country. Like, a lot of things have changed. So I'm not like mad at myself for it, but I'm just saying you got to change and be the person that deserves whatever it is you're looking for. Okay, I hope that was helpful to you. If you have any questions or anything you want to know more about, please leave a comment, please like, and I'll be back when I'm back. Thanks.